In my own country, they trying to track me down. For what? I don't know. Oh, Mr. Liar Man, you know I didn't do the thing you say I do. Oh, Mr. Liar Man.
Wow. So definitely just give life time. Time reveals everything. Welcome back to Delisha Life and Travel. It's your brown skin queen Delisha. Last month we did a video on the president's song that he recorded called Mr. Liar Man. And in that song, we didn't know exactly who the president was talking to, but it seems like everything is now falling in place. Music is very important because in music, people tell a lot of stories, maybe individual stories or things that are happening to somebody close to you or things that are happening just in your surrounding or society or so. People express these things differently, and our president was no exception. He was being accused of having an affair with Bioma J.V. Bioma's wife, and that didn't go down well with him. It led him to the recording studio, and the song Mr. Liar Man came out. Now, if one listens to this song, you can hear that this man is earnestly saying that he knows nothing about what is going on, what he has been accused of. He's innocent to it. But fast forward. Now we have Bioma J.V. Bioma coming out to make clarification on everything that transpired. He's here to clear the air. He said in his Facebook Live that he made yesterday that the president is actually innocent as well as his wife, and he's giving his sincere apology. But let's listen to the recording, and at the end of this video, if you haven't listened to the song before, the song is there for you to listen to also. Thanks for following, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel always. I love you. Bye bye. Peace out.
Good afternoon to everybody. Today is going to be a very solemn day for me. I believe this is a divine instruction given to me by God, and I'm going to follow it because I want to be in total peace with God that I serve. I want to be in total harmony with God that I serve. So I'm encouraging more people to come on live because I have something very important to share to the people. I want to unveil the real story to the Liberian people today. And whenever I seek God and God give me a divine instruction, I like to do it because I know how far God has brought me. I know how far God has been able to help me. I know where I was yesterday and I know where I am today. So I want to say this. I'm saying this because uh, it is an instruction given to me by God that I serve. I strongly believe that I owe everyone, every peace-loving Liberian, every Liberian that mean good, everyone out there that mean well for Liberia. I owe all of you this very sincere explanation that I'm making here this afternoon. I know how difficult it would be for some of you to do it, but I'm going to do it because I want God to bless me. I want God to protect me. I want God to honor me. I want God to deliver me from whatever's wrong, I've done out there to anyone. So that's the reason why I'm here. I know how God has been blessing and protecting me. I know how powerful God has been, and I know how marvelous He remained in my life. I know how down I have gone, and I know where I am right now. I want God to bless me. I want Him to protect me. I want Him to deliver me. So I'm coming on not because of anybody. I'm coming on because I serve a true and living God, a God that does not fail, a God that have always been out there for me, protecting me and delivering me from every evil, from every harm that people have planned against my life. So that's why I'm here this afternoon to say what I'm saying. I'm not saying it because I want anything from anybody. I'm not saying it because I want favor from anyone. I'm not saying it because I want connection. I'm saying it because I want my relationship with God that I serve so much to be good, because God told me that for me to seek Him, I must first seek the truth. And when I seek the truth, He said I should seek Him in truth, and He will be there to protect me. It takes the grace of God. Some of you will say, "Oh, I'm thinking about how people are going to look at me. I'm thinking about how people are going to say about me." But I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at the God that I serve. I'm looking at I've sought God. I've sought Him. I've cried to Him. I've gone to God in prayers. I have sought Him in tears. And I've asked him, God, what can I do? And he instructed me to do what I'm doing here this afternoon. It is about my wife, the president, and myself. This is purely about President George Weah, my wife, and myself. So I'm going to explain every situation here this afternoon. I want to take this off my chest and move on with my life. Okay? This is how it goes. First of all, let me say to you all that I'm very happy to be here this afternoon. I'm so grateful to God for keeping me alive, for making me to be stronger, and for making me to be who I am right now. I've learned a whole great deal of lessons. You know, there are times in life you reach a certain peak and you think that that all is over, that you've achieved all. And there are times God tries to teach you a lesson so that you can come back to your conscience and realize that indeed that you were nobody. So today I'm here to say what I have to say. I met President George Weah in 2014. 2015, I lost my father. When I lost my dad, I ran to him and I told him I've lost my dad. But then he was a senator and he instructed Seward Briggs. He said, my man, get that man something. Seward Briggs gave me money. And that was how my relationship with the president started. From there, President Weah became like a fatherly person to me. I would want, upon a time, visit him at his office. Sometimes I will see him and talk to him. Then came 2017. Initially, I supported the Liberty Party because my other papa too, who had helped me greatly in life, Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, I see him like a dad because what he has done for me is quite immeasurable. So he was initially supporting Liberty Party, and I decided to support him, but I was always in sympathy with CDC. But because of J. Fonati, I started aligning myself with Liberty Party. But I never obtained a membership with Liberty Party one day. So one time I went to the Papa Fonatina. I said, Papa, from the local things, I don't think Liberty Party is going to win. I'm going to join the CDC. He said he wasn't happy about it. But he said, okay, that's your decision to make in my picking. If you want to do it, do it. So I resigned from his office and decided to follow the CDC. It was Abubakar Ba, the current Minister of Internal Affairs, Sekou Kalasco Damaro, and Jefferson Tambakoji, who took me to the president. Abubakar Ba took me to Kings FM. Sekou and Koji took me to the president. And the president told them, look, y'all give the man assignment to do. The man, let me start work. And immediately I started work. We built a family relationship. We built a tie. It was a real bond that we built. We became one. We became very, very much great family. We won the election and I got what I could get and we move on. I saw the president as my dad and I always refer to him as my father. That was not a day I ever called him President Weah. I will always call him daddy or dad or father. Along the way on July 31st, out of passion, out of empathy, I wrote an article. That created a very bad blood between me and many other people around the president. The president and I never had a conversation about that article, but his relationship with me became a little bit strained. The way he used to talk to me, the way he would interact with me became strange. So as time went by, things rather became very tough and difficult for me. While I was in the government, I reached out to a few people. Many days I would send the president text and say, "Look, Mr. President, I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't have written what I wrote. I should have or publish it, but I should have come to you in private to say it. But I sincerely apologize to you. I promise this never happen again. And I went back to work, to LBS. My relationship at LBS was very cordial with all of my colleagues. I'm saying this because I want people to get this straight. Madam Estella Liberté, Titi Gibro, Honorable Legible Rennie, we had a very perfect relationship, including Minister Len Eugene Name. We had a very perfect relationship. Yes, there were times we had some issues at LBS, like between my sister and I, Estella, but we had a very perfect relationship. Whatever I wanted to be done, as long as I passed through the right channel, they were done. At some point in time, we were all young people, so the emotions could be high at times, and we'll have our own issues. But those were not enough to have caused a permanent strain issue between I and my colleagues. In late, I think between September and October, I can't remember the exact date, President Weah appointed Mara Estella Liberty, and Mr. Legible Rennie went to information. I was discouraged, not because they did not make me Director General, but I was discouraged that a man who had been like a father to me at LBS was leaving me in the hands of Estella and Titi. Because I said to him, I said, Chief, the two people, they will not play with me here. But it was just a joke. I took Estelle and Madame Liberty, Kemu. I was always very committed to serve her administration. Going heaven know my heart. Whenever sometimes she wanted to take some decisions, I would walk to her and say, Chief, let me please talk to you on this. I think the other decision you're about to take, it will not be good. So that was it. And sometimes, many times she listened to my counsel. And there were times that I had issues, I would come to her, private, personal issues, and I will explain those things to her. She will advise me. That is how cordial our relationship was. Time went by, things started getting tough with me at home. Things really got tougher between my wife and I. It got to a point where my wife could not just listen to anybody. Due to maybe some of the mistakes I had done in the past, some of the things I had done in the past. So maybe it was time for her to pay me back, and she really got me so concerned to the extent I didn't know what was happening. I reached out to a couple of friends. I reached out to her workmate, her boss lady at her office, her colleagues, her sisters, her family to talk to her. Things just couldn't work out. And one day I made some discoveries. They were not comfortable with me. So I walked out of the house. And I began to ask questions to know what was actually happening about my wife and I, and why she was behaving like the way she was doing. For me, I like to sometimes share my problems with people. Maybe that's a weakness that I have. So I met few people, some of them close to the president, and I share my problem with them. And some deliberately told me that, look, the woman behaving like that because the papa eating your Jew. I got broken down looking at the kind of way things were between the president and I, and how things were happening. Sometimes I speak to him, he don't speak to me, and the way my wife too behaved to me. And after everybody talked to her, she couldn't listen to it. I just supposedly believed what the people told me without actually going about to do my own investigation or seeking God. I became so emotional about the situation. I reached out to some securities and they told me, Mama, you got to leave the country. Because when you stay here, so long as men know that you and your wife going on, definitely they're going to get rid of you. So that morning, I called Estella and I lied to her that I'm sick, that I wanted to go for medication. And just so that she couldn't ask me too many questions, so that I could leave the country. Because I didn't want to tell her this very story. She has been my own partner that I always confide in. But if I had told her this, she was going to tell me, Bioma, I don't believe it, and not true. So I just decided not to tell Madam Liberty Kemu, not to share it with her. So I went home that morning, packed my things from the office, took few things rather, got in my car and I left. I crossed over to Sierra Leone. When I crossed over to Sierra Leone, I formally tendered my letter of resignation to the president. When I resigned, I did not indicate that, Mr. President, I'm leaving your government because of this thing. I told the president I was leaving because of XYZ. But the main crux of the matter that I had decided to leave the government was because of what this individual told me. You know, some of you will say, oh man, you stupid, you shouldn't have done that. Yes, it is true. But at that time, I was so emotional. At that time, I just couldn't believe anything otherwise. Looking at, and I can understand the point, the matter, the stain, or the situation at a given time. So I decided to tender that letter of resignation. When I resigned, a big brother called me. But before that, I had already confided in few other guys that I will not mention their name now. That look, this is what somebody told me that is going on between the president and my wife. And looking at the way my wife been behaving to me, after everybody now talked to her, she can't listen, including my neighbors have getting involved. She don't want to listen. She keep telling me I can't enter the house. So I believe what they're saying. Maybe because that's the only thing I can make any woman to stand to you like that. But I don't want you to publish it. Let's keep it to our chest. I'm still investigating. I have formally resigned from the government. I will investigate. If it is true, then definitely we can publish it. So this big brother called me and I made a similar revelation to him. Big brother Molly passed away. Molly passed away and I come a long way. I met him through the late Lawrence Brando. Lawrence introduced him to me. Say, my man, our papa, our big brother here. And we began from LMC, Journalists for Human Rights. Then he went to Capital FM. We had this good relationship. I saw him like a big brother. I saw him like a father, somebody that I could talk to. So when he called me, I confided in him. Unfortunately for me, Molly passed away, recorded my voice, and published it on Molly recorded my voice and published it on Facebook. When Molly did that, then that really got the president angry. People started publishing it that, oh, the president, XYZ, Bioma JV, Bioma wife, and this. Then that got the president very angry, and I was fired because I had requested I want to resign in December. But the president got angry by that revelation that I made to Molly and dismissed me. And I decided to move on. The next day, I spoke on Costa's platform. Costa asked me, and actually, I could not tell him emphatically that the president was going on with my wife, but I told him that this is something that I will not also dispute. This is something that I will not say it is true, it is not true. Because from what my wife was doing to me, I could believe it. But today I've come to say that having done my own investigation, having prayed about it, I've come to say that indeed the president never had any affairs with my wife. This was a clear manifestation. This was a clear attempt by a few people who believe they could use that situation with my wife to know and sometimes get emotional to get me out. I know how difficult this is to do, but I owe God a whole great deal of sincerity. I owe my wife a whole great deal of apology for the ridicule she went through, the disgrace she went through, all of the molestation she went through. I want to say sorry to you, Willemida. I know this is difficult for you to accept. I know it's painful for you to accept. But I'm here to sincerely apologize to you. I'm here to sincerely say, Mr. President, I'm sorry. I'm here to sincerely apologize to you from the bottom of my heart. I hold nothing against you. I'm not saying this to gain your favor again. I'm not saying this for your people around you to like me. I'm saying this from my heart because I prayed about it. I asked God about it. After I did everything I have to do, I've sought God in prayers, in fasting. I'm in my 21 days. I'm a winner. The Bible tells me that when I wrong people, I should come back and tell them sorry. The Bible tells me that when I hurt someone, I should come and tell them sorry. I know how things are. Yes, I messed up. I know, but it is better to mess up and rise up again. It is better to fall down and muster the courage, correct your mistakes, and move forward. I am exactly doing that today. I'm exactly correcting the mistakes that I've made. I'm exactly trying to build it up again because I've wronged people. I've strained marriages. I've strained relationship between the president and his own people. I don't believe I can go with my conscience free if I don't formally apologize to him. Mr. President, I want to say sorry. I want to say sorry to what this may have caused, for what this may have caused to your government. I want to say sorry to my brothers, Jefferson Koji. I know how embarrassed you've been to the extent, even when I tried reaching out to you, you couldn't pick my call. I know how embarrassed because you are my brother. I should have reached out to you first before doing what I did. But I was bitter and I thought it was important for me to do what I did. I was misled, I was misinformed, and I did not sit down to actually weigh the situation. I take responsibility for everything that happened. Mr. President, I sincerely apologize to you. This is from my heart. This is from my heart. I'm kindly appealing to you. I know how difficult this will be. I kindly beg you, find a place in your heart to forgive me. Find a space in your heart to forgive me. With a meter, I know how difficult this is. I want to sincerely apologize to you. It is better I do this now because the Bible says to me that if I want to go to another level, I have to correct the mistakes that I have made in the past and never repeat those mistakes again. I have no one to depend on beside God. I have no one to run to beside God. I have nowhere to ask for favor beside God. So whenever things happen to me, I seek God and I do what I'm supposed to do. I want to say I'm sincerely sorry for what happened. I want to say I'm sincerely sorry. I know this is difficult to accept. This is so hard to take. But I've wronged you, Willamita. I have no reason to have hold that conversation with uh, Molly. So I'm not going to blame Molly for what happened. I take responsibility. Because if I had not spoken to Molly about it, Molly was not going to record me secretly and publish it on Facebook. Molly, I have nothing against you. I have forgiven you as my brother. You still remain my big brother. I have absolutely nothing against you. I have nothing against you. You may say whatever you want to say. I'm not a confused person. I believe this is the right thing to do with God. I have to do it and move on with my life because it is important for me to have a good relationship with God and to have it with you. When God have you deeper in his place, you become the most happy guy ever. So I'm not going to be moved by what you're saying. I believe that God is currently rejoicing in his kingdom because of what I've done. I believe that the angels around me are happy that I've reached out to people that I've hurt to forgive me. It strained my relationship with my childhood friend. I understood. Okay, I can understand for where he did what he did. My brother David Cole. I can understand. He been my friend from childhood days for more than 20 years. David and I have been friends. I know how bad he felt when this thing happened. So David, I have nothing against you. I forgave you too. You are my brother. Let go the past. I hold nothing in my heart against you. I hold nothing in my heart against you. I can tell you I will continue to say the truth. I believe in truth saying. I told somebody who reached out to me and I told them, if I found out that the president didn't do what I said to Molly passed away, that he recorded me secretly, that went viral on Facebook, definitely I will come out and say sorry to the president. So that's what I'm doing. I know it is a difficult thing to do. Some of you will not do this. Some of you will not even muster the courage to do it. Some of you will not do it. But it makes me a better person. It makes me a better, very, very better person to do what I'm doing. I want to say sorry to everybody. My wife, I owe you that apology. I know you're moving on with your life. Likewise, myself, I'm moving on. But I think I owe you that sincere apology to say sorry to you for the embarrassment I caused you through my reckless attitude. I say sorry to you, Minister Eugene Nangbe, let you were running. I want to say sorry to you people because it was through your recommendations that I became who I was in government. I owe all of you guys that sincere apology. Again, let me say goodbye to all of you. I think I'm a happy person from today. I can move on my conscience free. I will sit back and look at the level of lashes I'm going to receive for some of you. Some of you will insult me. Some of you will say a whole lot of things about me. I don't have a problem about that. It is my life. It is about my relationship with God. If I'm hurt, and I know you hurt me, my doctrine says that I should come and tell you the truth. Then we can move on. So I'm moving on with my life. I want to sincerely say sorry to everybody. And from now on, I'm done with this. I thank all of you for watching. I want to applaud all of you for your continuous support, your interest that you always build in me. I know this is the beginning of my great starting. I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to rise up again and become that very powerful person that I was, and more than what I used to be. I believe what God got for me. So I've formally written the president a sincere apology from my heart. I told him. I reached out to my wife. I told her sorry too this morning. But I still believe that it was important for me to come out and say it so that the people can actually know that this is the situation that happened. And I take responsibility for everything. And to my friends who launched that advocacy for me, I embarrassed your podcast, your platforms. I should have done my own investigation properly before coming out to talk to you or confiding in you. I want to also say sorry to all of you for using your platform to spread an information that I did not fully investigate. I was misinformed, I was misled, and I take full responsibility of what happened. Again, goodbye to all of you, and let's continue to pray for the best to happen in Liberia so that our country can move forward. Thank you.
In my own country, they trying to track me down. For what? I don't know. Oh, Mr. Liar Man, you know I didn't do the thing you say I do. Oh, Mr. Liar Man. Joe Rastafari, King Selassie, big up, oh Mr. Liar Man, oh Mr. Liar Man, oh Mr. Liar Man, oh Mr. Liar Man. You know I didn't do the thing you say I do. Oh Mr. Liar Man, oh Liar Man, you know, Liar Man, you know I didn't do those things. Oh, Mr. Liar Man, I know I didn't do those things. Oh, Mr. Liar Man, Mr. Liar Man, Rastafari, no. What did he do? Oh, Mr. Liar Man. You know. A liar man, a liar man, a liar man, you are liar man. Oh, Mr. Liar Man. You know I didn't do the thing you say I do. Oh, Mr. Liar Man. Rastafari. Peace, Celestia. Big up.
I didn't do this. Liar man. Let Jaja judge you. Liar man. I didn't do it. Liar man. Let Jaja judge you.
So what, you keep lying? Lie, 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 lie. You lie, you lie, you lie. Oh, Mr. Liar Man. Oh, Mr. Liar Man. I say you lie, you lie. Oh, Mr. Liar Man. Mr. Liar Man. Hey, oh, Mr. Liar Man. You know I didn't do the thing you say I do. Oh, Mr. Liar Man. Jano, Jano, Jano. Rastafari, no.
Liar man. I didn't do it. Liar man. Let Jaja judge you. Liar man. I didn't do it. Liar man. Let Jaja judge you.
Mr. Liar Man, me nah go burn you with no fireman. Me nah go burn you on the fire pan. Cause you a liar man, wicked man, bad man, foolish man. Mr. Liar Man, get away because me never love you. I say, oh no, Jaja, I go judge you. Cause you a liar man, wicked man, bad man, foolish man.
Liar man. I didn't do it. Liar man.
You ready for that?
Jaja judge you.
You ready for the boy there?
Liar man. I didn't do it. Liar man. Let Jaja judge you.
Wanna hear it? Don't ever follow back on Mr. Liar Man then. Because the name say it already, you know. You see me? Mr. Liar Man, wicked man, bad man, and foolish man. You see me? Fire upon Mr. Wicked Man then. Mr. Liar Man then. Fire!